your life might feel kind of chaotic. And sometimes it's important to just slow down. Slow living is a lifestyle movement that emphasizes a slower, more mindful and intentional approach to life. It's kind of rejecting the idea that you constantly need to be productive and instead embracing a slower, more sustainable and balanced approach to life. I've been practicing slow living for over a year now, and these are 5 reasons why you should consider doing the same. Prioritizing what's important. In today's world, it's so easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle and feel like you need to be on all the time. But slow living really encourages a different approach by reminding us to kind of slow down and really consider what are the most important things in our lives and make sure our lives are structured around them to make sure there's actually room for those important things. This might involve actually setting time aside for the things that matter most, whether that's for relationships, for your family, personal growth, career goals. It could also involve finding ways to simplify our lives and declutter our calendars so that we have more time in our lives to do the things that matter. By prioritizing what's important, we can create a life that is fulfilling and really aligned with our values. And we can also spend less time running around trying to please everyone and trying to do everything and just kind of always feeling a little chaotic. And that can really help us feel more purposeful and more content and really lead to a greater sense of happiness and well-being. One way to start prioritizing what is most important to you is to sit down and make a list of your values. What are the things that are most important in your life? These might include things like your family, your friendships, personal growth, your faith. By actually taking time to identify what your values are, you can actually start to make choices that align with the things that matter most to you. Once you've identified your values, you can actually start to set goals that align with those. For instance, a couple I've had recently is spending more time with my family. So that might mean shutting off my phone at a certain time every night so that I'm not on that at night and I can actually spend it and be present with them. Another thing would be personal growth and reading. In order to do that, after I make my cup of coffee, I read 1 page of a book. And over time, you kind of adapt that habit and become that person. Think really finding individual things that you can do and making time and creating a habit around those things is super important because anybody can make goals and a lot of people do and most people fail them. So that's why it's actually really important to break down those goals that align with your values and find out what you can do today, every single day, to get you closer to kind of align your life with those values. And the cool thing is this is totally different for everybody, so you just need to take literally a few minutes and sit down and do this. Slowing down and appreciating the present. Slow living is really about being present and savoring the little moments in life instead of constantly rushing from one task to the next. It's really about finding joy in your everyday activities and really taking time to appreciate people and experiences and really just the things that bring us happiness. One way you can practice slow living that I've been doing a lot recently is trying to carve out time to do activities that really bring you back to the present moment, whether that's a hobby, it could be something like cooking, playing guitar. For me, even making videos is one of them, and another one for me is just making coffee. It's something simple, but when I do it, I don't really think about anything else. I get excited about it. I like to measure everything out and just kind of really get into the theory. I've got different ways of brewing it that are super fun and experimenting with that. And whatever that activity is for you, engaging in those is a way to really shut off all the distractions and the stress of everything that's going down and just find a little bit of calm and presence in just experiencing and having fun with the thing that you're doing right now and not thinking about the past or the future and just really focusing on the now. Another great way to do this that I really experienced when I was on a fitness retreat in Colombia actually was using movement as a kind of gateway into mindfulness. If you're walking barefoot, which is something I do pretty much all summer, and you're going for a hike in the woods, let's say, once you've built up your feet a little bit, you will not be able to think about anything else that is stressful because you have to be extremely present so that you don't step on a rock or something like that. And you'll notice that a half an hour or an hour will go by and you like literally haven't had a thought, and your body feels more relaxed and you feel more calm. And it's because you have to be present to make sure you don't fall off. So find something where you have to be present in order to engage in that activity, and then make sure that you do that consistently. So you're constantly not like sitting there trying to meditate, but you're actually doing things that you enjoy doing that bring calm into your life. If you're getting any value out of this video, it would mean a ton to me if you would drop a like and subscribe. Before we get into some of the more actionable tips in this video, I wanted to tell you about a way that I have been really simplifying my health, and that is with the sponsor of today's video, AG1 by Athletic Greens. AG1 is by far my favorite health supplement. I have this every single day. Even when we were traveling, I took the little travel packs with us, and I just have it like pretty much every single day because of all the benefits I'm about to tell you about. It's just so convenient, it tastes really good, and it is packed with 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced ingredients. For me, I've had gut issues for a while. I can't have gluten or dairy, and I've really felt a lot better since I've been taking this. It has probiotics, it has prebiotics, and natural occurring enzymes. It also helps me feel kind of like more clear and mentally focused. It gives me more energy. If you use the link in the description, you can also get a year's supply of vitamin D3 plus K2, which I also have pretty much every single day, along with 5 AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. You can use the link down below or go to athleticgreens.com/Gabe Bult and start feeling fantastic. Simplify and declutter. Simplifying and decluttering are often a key part of slow living. This really involves going through your house first of all and finding things that don't add anything to your life, which if you haven't decluttered before will be a surprisingly large amount of your stuff. No, like so much of it. And when you do get rid of all that stuff, what is actually left is things that add value to your life. They bring some type of happiness, they serve a use, and they don't just sit there and clutter up your life. I noticed that everything I own kind of like owns a little bit of real estate in my head. So if you go through and declutter, you will notice that your brain thinks a little bit more clearly or something like that. I don't know, maybe it's just me. And if you do the same thing with your schedule, where you go through and you look at how you spent your day today or yesterday or last week, and you look at all those activities and see what can you cut out of your life so that you can have more time to do all these other things that we've been talking about. Once you start to ruthlessly kind of go through and cut a bunch of junk out of your life that you don't need to be doing, but you're just doing because it's what you do, then you'll notice that you have a lot more free time and you can really enjoy your life a lot more when it's not being kind of dictated by schedules and other people, what they expect of you. Sometimes this takes a little bit to do, but it's been super important for us. Usually we try to keep going out of the house to like 2 nights a week so that we're home a lot of the time, because for us that's super important. For you, you might want to go out more, but really try to take control of your schedule and just don't allow other people to control your lives. Make sure you're doing that. Slow living really incorporates sustainability in an environmental way, but also in a personal way. This might involve making choices that are more environmentally friendly. Maybe it's getting your clothes at the thrift store, just stopping wasting as much food. Americans waste an insane amount of food. Recycling your stuff, donating things as you're decluttering your house instead of throwing them away, and then stop consuming as much stuff by stop buying as much stuff. Or something that we are really passionate about is just supporting local businesses. But it's also about being sustainable in your personal life, because I don't think we're really meant to just grind all the time and constantly have stuff going on. We actually have to slow down. We have to take care of ourselves mentally and physically so that we can make sure we can live a good quality of life for a long time, as opposed to kind of going in spurts where you're working constantly and then you get yourself sick. At least that's what happens to me. And then you're forced to recover for a little bit, and then you get going again, and then things get crazy, and then you get sick again. It's a terrible cycle. But that's why it's so important to really make sure that your life is sustainable and at a pace that you can enjoy your day-to-day life. Quality over quantity. Slow living has a lot to do with finding value in the things that we do, rather than consistently trying to seek out more. This might involve seeking out quality over quantity, especially when it comes to products. I know I can just use shirts as an example. I used to buy a lot of rather junky shirts because they were cheap and I wouldn't actually wear them. I wouldn't enjoy them. They wouldn't look good on me. And then I found, for me, it was Cuts Clothing. They're just really high quality shirts that fit well. They're actually long enough for my torso, which has been really hard to find. And since then I've reached out to them and we've created a partnership because I'm actually such a big fan of their stuff. If you want to check them out, there's a link down below. But it's really this idea of finding that 10 or 20% of your clothes or anything else in your life that you love and just being okay with that stuff and getting rid of the rest so that everything that you have is kind of your favorite, and really applying that same thing to everything in your life. Don't buy the cheapest version. Don't get a large quantity of lower quality stuff, but instead focus on that less but better approach, which is kind of the core of essentialism. It's finding those few things that will make a big impact and then really focusing your energy on obtaining more of those things, or just really enjoying those things that you do have. If you're feeling overwhelmed by our kind of fast-paced society and this current lifestyle that we're all in, then I'd highly encourage you to try out some of these principles. Just take a few minutes and really see what you can cut out of your life, what you can simplify, how you can slow down, and then find the smallest possible tiny habit that would kickstart that, and just start focusing on that. Nothing huge, not huge changes, but start small and just start to make progress. And in a year from now, your life could look totally different. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next week.